Hello everyone, welcome again to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make this simple but elegant bead bag. With today's project, look at how beautiful it looks like, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to line it. Look at the inside and make a pocket for your coin. So today's project, we need 8mm bead. This is how it looks like. This is 8mm in size, cream color. This is my 50-pound fish line or beading wire and my plier. So let's get started. So we are going to start off with 4 beads on the nylon line. This is 4 beads I put on it, and I'm going to cross the 4th one with the other line, the other end, like this, and pull down. This is how we are going to start off, and we are going to build on this with 3, 3, 3. So I put 1, 1 on each line, and I'm going to cross it with the 3rd bead, like how I'm doing. Let's cross it with the 3rd bead, just like so. This is how it's looking like so far. Now we have 2 boxes. So we are going to continue, and I'm going to put 1, 1 on each line. And we are going to repeat the same thing we did for the previous ones. This is how we are going to continue this pattern through the entire weave in the video. I'm just putting 1, 1 on each line and crossing it through the 3rd bead. So this is how the weave is looking like. If you see the weave like this, if you start off, don't worry, because as you build on it, it's going to straighten up. If it's bumpy or it curl up, don't worry with the first row. Just continue to build on it and it's going to straighten up. So I'm just going to continue my weaving. Weave. So now I want to turn to the side to start my 2nd row. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add 3 beads to this line. It doesn't matter which line you add your bead. If you are lefty, you add it to the other side. If you're left-handed. So now my line turned to the side, like this. So this line, I'm going to add another 3 beads, so I can start my 2nd row. Like so. Now I'm starting my roll, my new roll again. That's the 2nd row, and I'm going through the next bead, and I'll be adding 2, 2 bead. I'm going to go through all the edge bead and add 2 bead. I'm going through the next bead again, next bead, this one right here. And I'm adding 2 bead. I'm gonna go through the next bead again. And now add 2 bead. Right here I'm on the finishing end, so the last bead I'm going to go through, and the same line I used to go through the bead, I'm going to add 2 bead to to this line, the line that I used to go through the bead. I'm adding 2 beads, and this will make me turn to the side to start my 3rd row. You have to make your line come to the side so you can start another row. Now on this line, I'm going to add 3 beads. Into the next bead. Like how we did for the 2nd row, we are going to repeat the same thing for the 3rd row. You go through each bead and add 2 beads. Go to the next bead and add 2. We are going to go through all the edge bead one by one and add 2 beads to it. Bead. Like this. I'm adding 2 beads. This is how the pattern is going to continue throughout the entire weave. So this is what we will be doing all through the how we are going to weave the bag. Make sure you are pulling tight and make your work look straight and neat. I'm going to go through the next one, then to the end, and return and make another row. So we are turning again to start another row. On this line, I'm going to add 3 beads on this line. Now next bead, we are going to repeat the same thing to the end and turn and come back. Okay, I'm still weaving and I'm going through each bead adding 2, each bead adding 2, like what we are doing. Next bead. You see how the bead straighten up the weave? So don't worry if you see the first line, the first row that is bumpy and curly. As you build on it, it's going to straighten up. Go to the next bead and I'm going to add 2 beads to that line. Now on this bead, I'm going to add the line. On this line, I'm going to add 3 beads to start another row. Our next bead. This is all we'll be doing, and we are going to build on it to make a big mat so that what we want to do, we can use it to do it. We are going to continue with this weave. This is the pattern we are going to use the entire weave. So this is how it's looking like. This is our weave so far. This is how it's looking like, very beautiful cream color. Now we are going to make it to make a big mat. Okay, now that I'm done with this part, I made two parts. And I'm going to put it together. This is the part I made for the base. I made it for the base. and I made 7 rows for the base that we are going to put them together. So this is how I'm going to put it together so we can join the pieces together. With the joining, this is pretty, very beautiful red color we are going to use to create a line around the bag, the edges. So this is what we are going to use. Very beautiful color. If you don't like red, you are going to like red today because it looks so beautiful. I'm going to join these 2 pieces together. Now I get my fish line and I'm going through the edge bead. Going through the edge bead. Then I'm going to add 1 red bead to the line. I'm adding a red bead to the line. I'm going to use the other end to go through the edge bead. Now I'm using another red to cross my line into it and pull them together. So this is how we are going to start joining. Now we are going to go through each bead. You use the other line, go through the 2 bead on the opposite side, use 1 red and cross your fish line into it and pull. Now those 2 we are going to go through with each line. Now the other line, I'm going to use it to go through that one to that bead and pull. Now I'm going to use the red to cross my line into it, just like this, and pull. Make sure you're pulling tight. Please subscribe to my channel and turn on all your notifications for new videos. We are going to go through each bead to the end, like that. So we're going to do the same up to the end. So we've done with the first row, and I'm going to attach the other side too. I'm going to do the same thing I did for the first line on this side too. I'm just going through the edge bead and using the red to cross my line into it. It's just a repetition of what we did the first time. You cross your line into the bead and pull. So we do it up to the end. Now that I'm done, okay, this is how it's looking like. Very beautiful. We are done with our line. We join both together. So with this magnetic snap, if you are using 6 or 4mm bead, it's easy to use because you can use the back plate like how it's instructed. You can use it how it's instructed. Use the back plate and fold the hook on it. But if you are using 8mm bead, it's hard to do. You can't use the back plate because the bead is too big for the hook to fold. So let's get creative and I'll show you how we are going to do it. So I have a plan. Let's get creative. This is how it's look like. We are going to get creative over here, and I'm going to use it to attach to the bag. And here's how we are going to do. We are going to find the middle of the bag. If you want to attach it, find the middle. And I'm looking for the middle, and this is where it is. So I'm going to go down 3 bead where my hand is. I'm going to go down 3 bead and attach my magnetic snap over there. This is what I'm going to use. This is a jewelry glue I'm going to use. So I'm going to pull my glue on it like this. Let me close it before it gets hardened. Okay, now the spot that I'm going to attach it to the bag, I'm going to find it and put it on that spot. That is the spot I want to go. So I'm pushing it through the holes over there. Now I'm pressing it. Press it nice so that the hook comes out on the opposite side. And make sure it's well settled over there. You press on it until it's well settled. Now what I'm going to do next, so the wings is out, both wings are out, and I'm going to use my plier and I'm going to fold this wing, the back hook, I'm going to fold it onto the middle bead over there. I'm going to fold it to hug that bead nice and tight. Fold it on it just like that. Make sure it's well tight on the bead. So here I'm just closing it tight on the bead and make sure it's well settled and aligned in the middle. Then after that I'm going to use more glue on it. I'm going to use it over there to make it settle, to make it secure, and make sure it's well secured over there. This is like a brick. When it dried, it dried like a brick. So I'm pushing it tight onto the bead, onto the bag right there. So with this, I'm going to lay it down for 7 to 8 hours to really dry. Here is the lining I made for the bag. I made this lining and I made it with my hand. I put a zipper on it for your coin, your jewelry, whatever you want to put in it. So this is how it's looking like. I used needle and thread to make this. So this is what we are going to line inside our bag. And it's a pretty beautiful fabric. This is how it's looking like. I put a zip on it. You can dip your hand in it, whatever you want to do. And we're going to attach it to the bag. Now that our bag is dried, our glue, the attachment is dried, we are going to lay down the lining on it. And with this lining, thread and needle is what we use, but we are going to use the same glue we use. To line, you are going to line around the fabric and attach to the bead. And it's going to dry perfectly nice. So that we cover the back of the snap too. So this is how it's looking like. We are going to glue it and glue it nice. I doubled the fabric so that the back side will take the glue, and so that the glue will not show through the fabric to the front. So this is how it's looking like. It's very beautiful. I make the zip through it, so don't tell me you can't make this lining. DIY, you make everything by yourself with your hand, whatever you get. Okay, now that the fabric is attached, we are going to close the side. And I'm starting off with pulling the line into the edge bead. So what I'm adding red, one cream, and one red. The red is a faceted bead. It's 8mm faceted bead. So I'm gonna go through the next bead. It's the same weave that we are weaving, the same thing we are going to do over here. So now one cream and one red. So we are going to continue. The reason is I'm using the red to create a line around the edges of the bag. That's why I'm putting red all through. So I'm picking one cream and one red. You put cream first, then you put one red second, just like that. Now the red is creating a line around the edges. Very pretty, beautiful red. Don't be afraid to use color. Mix colors with your bag so it looks beautiful. So this is how we are going to build the side, creating the red on the edges using the red and the cream bead, and we are going to use it to the end. Okay, now I'm on the finishing, about to finish the end. I'm going through the bead. I'm just going to go through the red bead right here and the cream bead, and what I'm going to add is red. So this line right here, I'm going to use it to pick up a bead on the base. This one right here, the cream bead. So I'm going through the cream bead, and what I'm going to add to it is one red and one cream. Then I'll start my next row on the side. This line I'm going to add one red and one cream, because we are using the red to create line on the edges. So we are going to turn and make another row. We are using the red to create a line on the bag. So I'm going to go up. So on this row, I'm just going to continue with only cream bead to the end. Now the next bead. Two bead. This is all we'll be doing, and we are going to continue to the end. Okay, now I'm turning onto another roll again. On this line, I'm adding two bead. So I'm making another row. I'm going to add 3 bead to this line. So I'll be going to the next bead and add 2 bead. I'm gonna go through that bead, then I'll add 2 bead and add 2 bead. The same pattern, the same weaving. So this is what we are going to continue on the side too. I'm going to use the same pattern. I'm gonna go to the end. going to go through the red bead and the cream bead on the edge. I'm just showing over here, I'm just showing how we are using the red to create line throughout or around the edges of the bag. That is what I'm doing. That's what I'm taking my time so that everybody can understand what I'm doing. So red bead, and I'm going to use the other line to go through the cream again. Pick one from the base and turn and go back again. So I'm going through the cream bead with this line, and I'm going to add one red and one cream. First I'm going to put red before the cream. And pull. I'm going to go through the next bead. So I'm going up again to build another row. Now 2 cream bead. So on this row we are going to use only cream bead. Okay, so I'm just going to continue using cream bead to the end. I'm going through the next bead. This is how we are going to continue to build on it until we come to the end of, we complete all the base, we pick all the bead from the base. And this is how it looks like. So over here what I have to do is to go through each opposite bead and then add the red bead on the side. That's what I'll be doing. Go through this bead and one on the other side. This one right here. And I'm going to use the red bead. Cross my line through the red bead. So this is what I'm going to do until I complete that side. This is the side. Everything is filled up. So I'm going to put a shape on it. I'm going to put shape, so I'm finding the middle for the side. And I'm going to pull my line through the 3 bead over there. This 3 bead, I'm going to pull my line through it. And now I'm going to use one red bead and cross my both line into the red bead. So now the 2 bead on the side, I'm going to go through this bead, and the opposite one, I'm going to go through the other bead. Now I'm going to cross the lines into the red bead. Now I'm going down 1 bead. This one and this on the side. I'm going down 1 bead. with the other line tool, I'm going to go through that bead over there. I'm using my red to cross it, to cross both lines into it. And I'm going to go down one more bead. This bead right here, these two, I'm going to go down through it like that. So this is how it looks like, and the rest of the line I'm going to weave it through into the bead. So this is how it's looking like. This is the side and this is the other side. So what we have to do now is to make a flap on it, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the flap. I'm going to start off with this edge bead right here. I'm putting my line through it. We are going to add bead. We are going to add one red, one cream, and one red. One cream, one red, and one cream. So I'm going through the next bead like how we did the pattern. The same thing we are going to do, and this one too, we are using the red to create the line and to start off our flap on it. Cream first before the red. This is how the pattern is going to go to the end of the bag. Now I'm on the edge. I'm finishing this row, so I'm going through the last bead over here, and I'm adding one cream and one red. So I'm going to go through it. Okay, now with this red, this is what we are going to continue. We are going to continue with red. We are going to continue the flap with the red faceted bead. So we are going to start with it. Going to continue with red. The same pattern, the same thing we are doing. That's what we are going to do. So we are going to continue to the end. So this is the first row that we've done, and now we are going to build up. And my line is up. I'm going to add another more to start my second row. this is how it's going to be. I'm going to go through the next bead and add. This is my second row I'm building over here. So this is first and this is second row, and we are going to complete the row and we are going to build on it 8 times, so 8 rows. And now that I've completed 8 rows, let me show you how we are going to put shape in it too. This is 8 rows over here. I'm going to leave 2 behind and go through the 3rd bead. And I'm going to do the 3rd bead the same way we are weaving. It's the same wave. So like that, we are going to complete the row to this bead. We are going to leave 2 behind this side too and stop at the 3rd one, and we'll make 2 rows over here. So now our flap is complete, and this is how it's looking like. This pretty, very beautiful bag. And what we have to do now is to put handle on it, and this is the handle that I've made. And this is, we are going to attach it to the top and not on the side, but this one I'm going to attach it to the top like this. This is how we are going to do it. So I'm measuring where I want it to be. So I have 1 bead on my line like this, and I'm going to go through the 3rd bead. I'm going to go to the 3rd bead and find a spot where I want the attachment to be on the bag. So I pull it through that bead, and I'm going to attach the handle on top of it. So I'm pulling my line into that bead. Now I'm going through the bead on the bag, and I'll go through a bead on the handle, this red bead right here, and I'm going to go through this bead on the handle too. Make sure you're pulling. If you are doing it, pull your lines tight. Now I've used bead and crossing my line into the bead and pull. Then I have to go through another bead on the back and another bead on the handle. That is how I attach it. You attach a piece to the bag. I'm going through a bead on the handle too, and I'm going to use a bead and cross both of my lines into it. This is all we are going to do all around. Just go through the bead on the bag and a bead on the handle. Use bead and cross both lines into it. So this is all we'll be doing all around to attach the handle. With the lining inside, if you can use thread and needle, you can attach your lining too, because you can use it. You can use needle and thread. You go through the bead one by one and go through the fabric too. Apart from that, you can use the glue too. to this bead. I'm going to the bead on the bag, and I'm going to cross my lines into the bead. Now I'm going to go through this inner bead over here, inside bead. So I'm going to go through it and add the bead, so to seal that side, and we are going to do the same thing to the other one, to the other handle. We are going to go around it and attach it to the bag the same way. So I'm done attaching the handle to the bag, and this is how it's looking like. Now I made this and I attached this the magnetic snap, the closure, I attach it the same way we attach it to the bag. So I'm going to attach this piece on it so it can snap on it, and I'm going to show you the same way we attach the handle, the same way we are going to attach this onto the flap, but I have to measure it so it can close perfectly on the snap on the bag. So I'm going through a bead and I'm using bead to cross both of my lines into it, the same way we did for the handle, the same way we are going to do over here. I'm just crossing my line into the bead. Please subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification for any new video. So here I'm going to go around it and attach it to the bag. I reposition it because it was far away from the snap, so I'm repositioning it. I have to make sure it's perfectly lined onto the snap on the bag. So I'm going to go through all around the same way we did it and close on it. The first one, it was a little bit over, so now I have to reposition. Okay, now I'm done. Everything is perfect. So the attachment is complete, and this is how it snaps on the bag. It snapped perfectly, and I got the spots perfectly. Because the lid has a little weight, the attachment has a little weight, when you release it, it's just gonna snap on it and close on itself. So you don't have to do any hard work. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And please don't forget to turn on your notification for any new video. So this is our final product. This is how it's looking like. Thank you for watching, and thank you for spending this time with me.